From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a huge morning of early mornings LALATE this Monday morning with your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. In this recording, we go over the incredible great news that we start Monday morning with about your fourth stimulus check, the monthly stimulus checks that start in the month of July and land your bank account thereafter. We have not one, not two, but four breaking developing details over the weekend, which are absolutely incredible for your fourth stimulus check. I'm excited to give you these details. Then in the second half of this recording, we go over fifth stimulus that raises your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, or survivor benefits, and it applies a new benchmark. I have all the incredible breaking details this morning about how this works and why this could change your life with incredible money. Then in the middle of this recording, we go over the thousands of dollars that are landing throughout these last few days of the month of May automatically for you. It's absolutely incredible. It's a great Monday. The toast is toasted, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. I'm really excited for you as these final days before the vote starts on the fourth stimulus check. Let's get to it. This is Early Mornings LALATE. How you doing? It's Monday morning. Hope you're having a beautiful Monday morning. It is relatively sunny right now here in Los Angeles. It's supposed to be a little bit cooler today, so let's see if they're right. How's the weather where you are? Tell me where you're tuning in from and tell me how the weather is. Love to hear your comments. This is a big broadcast about your fourth stimulus check. In this recording, we're going to go over first how much these multiple stimulus checks are under the fourth stimulus package. Then, in the second half of this recording, we're going to go over fifth stimulus, the incredible lifting up of your benefits, especially if you're on SSI, SSDI, and veterans benefits, and the applying of a new benchmark. Wow. Then in the middle of the recording, we go over the thousands of dollars available for you, and some landing automatically this week. And then we go over, of course, the breaking news that impacts your fourth stimulus check. Incredible details. I'm so excited for you. Thank you for joining me. This is LALATE, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, financial news network. Recording live in the morning and typed in the afternoons. Coming up next is Mornings LALATE, followed by Mornings Crypto, and then Noontime LALATE. So don't miss those live shows coming up still on this channel this morning. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Let's get to the breaking details right off with the fourth stimulus check. It's important to understand who wrote the fourth stimulus check bill and how much it is. The House proposal was written by Jalapal. It's a name you need to hear and remember because I'm going to bring it up later in this recording. Jalapal's fourth stimulus package provides a monthly stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic. The House proposal is a stimulus check every month for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. That's Jalapal's House bill. If you're watching the show live, just after 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate, but not just yet. Let's look at the amounts. So the House proposal provides $1,000 $2,000 the first month, and $1,000 thereafter per month. The Senate proposal provides stimulus checks for an amount unknown, but word on the street is this. Wow. This is a single individual's check, $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. Now let's circle back and go over why Jalapal's bill may get some revising. At issue is Jalapal's language of pandemic plus 1 year. Pandemic plus 1 year is where Jalapal's bill may get a modification. Why? Because the pandemic may be over by the time they vote for legislative purposes. And so that means that under Jalapal's bill, you would not get a stimulus check for every month for the pandemic plus 1 year, just 1 year. So really interesting twist. If that was true, that you're only going to get 12 months of stimulus checks from Jalapal, that would amount to $13,000 over 1 year compared to nearly the same amount in just 6 months from the senators. Wow. So now jump into the live chat, and if you're watching this tape, jump in the comments and vote House or Senate. Which one do you like? House or Senate? Well, let's go over all the details of what else is going on in these multiple stimulus checks. First, who gets it? You do. You do. So if you make less than $75,000, you get the first stimulus check. $150,000 or less, married couple, you get the first stimulus check. Just double it. Household four or less, you get the first stimulus check. Yeah. So if the Brady Bunch wants to get all stimulus checks, they can. It's up to a household of 4. And then finally, beneficiaries get the first stimulus check. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, you would get the first stimulus check. Congratulations. Is there a different amount for stimulus check for adult dependents, minor dependents, or someone else? No, everyone would get the same amount. We don't know if it's taken out for child support, but we do know it's not income, so it's not taxable, and it would not come in waves. Remember, I'm just a reporter. I'm not a representative. So the legislators make representations. They're their representations, not mine, but they represent the vote would be in the month of July, no later than July 4th. So if that's correct, then that means that the first check would land in the month of July for the month of July, and in August for the month of August. Incredible great news. This is the reconciliation process, which has already started and is near finishing for drafting of the legislative purposes, a 2-bill, 2-step, 2-month process. But what is this exciting 4 items breaking about your 4 stimulus? It's coming up in just a second. But let me give you a preview of the second half of this recording. I know it's an early morning show, but I got a lot of money for you in the show. So stay with me to the very end and get a pen and paper ready, because I want you to get all this big money. Let me give you a preview of the second half of this recording. In it, I go over fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus will raise your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits, and then they would apply a new benchmark, inflation. But we're starting to see new signals starting this Monday that the inflationary rate may be much higher than what Jerome Powell said, but not as high as what Jeremy Siegel said of 20%. That was details. Incredible great news coming up in the second half of this recording. But now let's circle back to the incredible details about the money that is landing, some automatic and some you have to get. First, money you need to get. It is from third stimulus, not fourth. And it's finally landing in your city, counties, and states this week. It started to land next week. How much is it? $350 billion. What is it for? Big item is rent. Also utility assistance, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utility assistance. So let's go over this big money. First, how much can you get? About $5,000 for rent. Wow. 46 months of rent? Yes. So where do you get it? Hope you have that pen and paper ready. 6 places: City Hall, City Housing Authority; County Hall, County Housing Authority; State Hall, State Housing Authority. Reach out and get that rent. It's about $5,000, about 46 months of rent. Incredible great news. Now, I have more money for you, and there's not a single day that doesn't go by that says, I thank you for your video. I got rent or SNAP because of watching you. I never knew that I could get these things. So it's important to understand that when reaching out for the rent, every location is different. They have different eligibility. So if you get a no at the city, then reach out to the state or the county. And then finally, the keywords you want to use is rent assistance for COVID. I'm looking for rent assistance because of COVID. Don't use the word stimulus. All right, let's go to the SNAP. What is SNAP? It's money for your food. It is money for your food. How do you get it? Reach out to 211 or call Department of Agriculture. They administer it. And so how much can you get? A family for Hawaii can now get upwards of $16,000 for SNAP because of 2 executive orders. Oh, it's so much money. Why so much? Because the 2 executive orders raise everyone's benefits up 15% from January to December. So go get it. This is incredible great news. So SNAP, when you reach out to the Department of Agriculture, will start paying you based upon the same sort of eligibility as a third stimulus check. There you go. $16,000 for SNAP for a family of 4 in Hawaii, $5,000 for rent. We are doing really well, and we're just 9 minutes into this video. And now I got some free money for you, coming from 2 different places, and one that you got to really watch as a hawk because you may miss the check. Yeah, you don't want to miss a check. What's the first one? It's coming from your state. How much it is? I'm going to go over how much it is, how you're going to get it, and when you're going to get it. All right, how much is it? It's about $5,000 for some people. States overpaid residents unemployment benefits during the pandemic, and it was to no fault of the residents. The federal government caught on and said, no, the residents should not have had to repay that money back to the states. It was theirs to keep. So the federal government has now ordered the states to return the money back to you. One viewer is getting $5,000. So first, how are you going to get this money? You're going to get it in the bank account that you have on file from your unemployment department. And finally, when are you going to get this money? It depends on the state. Every state has different routing times. So reach out to your state. This is money coming back to you that was already given to you due to computer malfeasance. It's been ordered returned to you. Wow, just great news. So now let's turn to federal surprises. And the federal government is returning thousands of dollars to you. Wow. Let's go over how much it is, how you're going to get it, which is very important. It's very, very important, the how. And finally, the when. All right, first, what is this? It's the money you paid on your taxes to the federal government the money you paid for taxes on your unemployment benefits to the federal government on your 2020 return. Here's an example. Your total unemployment benefits for 2020, $9,000. You filed a 2020 tax return. Total tax bill to IRS was $5,000, of which $4,000 was the taxes on unemployment. Guess what? You're getting back a check of $4,000. Wow, great news. So the next question is how? In the mail. In rare circumstances, it will come by direct deposit if that was listed on your bank account, but in the mail, which brings us back to the missing stimulus check scenarios of last year and earlier this year. You may miss this check from the IRS, so you don't want to go through the mail quickly over the next few days. It will be slotted in there potentially, and you may, if you miss it, you're going to lose out on thousands of dollars. Who's getting paid when, finally? The when, let's go over the details. Single filers, non-complicated returns who already filed their returns, you would have already gotten paid by now. Single filers with more complicated returns like dependents, you're getting paid next. And then finally, individuals, joint filers like husband and wife, you're getting paid at the end of the month. All three phases are getting paid within this month. It's incredible great news. Really incredible great news. Which brings me now to the jaw-dropping great news from those legislators and your president. Not one, but four breaking news that impacts your fourth stimulus. I'm so excited for you. So let's go over the first one chronologically from the beginning. Remember Jalapal? You remember Jalapal, the legislator who wrote the multiple stimulus check bill for the House. When Jalapal wrote that bill, it got the signature support of nearly 100 so House Democrats and some Senate Democrats saying they're going to do the same on their side if it doesn't pass with Jalapal. Well, guess what Jalapal did this week, or just a few days ago, before the weekend? Wrote Leader Schumer and Nancy Pelosi a letter and had the same people who signed that multiple stimulus check bill co-sign this letter. And what's the message? It's very easy and breezy to follow. It's just the following. Get the vote done. Why the vote now? Because the reconciliation bills have already been written, so there's nothing waiting around for at this point. And while the president wants to do a little bit more of faux negotiations, the Democrats in the House and Senate say, what are we waiting around for? Just call the vote. If that wasn't any better, then I had this breaking news, which was legislators from the House wrote the president a letter late this last week and said, we're ready to work with you and we're going to put in the multiple stimulus checks into the fourth stimulus package with you. Wow. So this is about as Captain Obvious as it can come. But even better than this is that these 7 people are part of the House Ways and Means Committee, which is the committee that actually writes stimulus checks in stimulus packages for the House. So if there ever was going to be written in this language for the House standpoint, these are the people who would actually do it. And now they're writing the president saying, let me work with you on getting these multiple stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow. This is just incredible, great news. And it's not done there. Then the president of the United States, he stepped forward late Friday and said, basically, without saying it, we're going to reconciliation just a few days. What's going on here? So the president on Friday counteroffered, but it's not really a counteroffer, to the Republicans whose only proposal has been one figure. $500 billion since day one, which the president has rejected 1,000 times. He's never accepted. So what did the president say on Friday? He said, I'll drop down my number to counterpropose you, but he's really not. He's just admitted that those items are somewhere in another bill. He doesn't need to double count them. So the president is basically setting it up for recon vote. And here's what you also need to know, is the president has told his insiders that he will do his lunches negotiating with the Republicans all the way up into Memorial Day weekend, and that's it. Then it's time for the vote. And that's ironically what those Democrats wanted to hear, because they're ready with the bills. They just need to get the vote on. And the president needs optics. So, and maybe he needs to figure out what other type of chicken they have there at the White House. But he's going to have lunches every day with the Republicans and get back the same no-deal answer from them and himself. And with that, we're going to recon. Finally, if that wasn't any clearer, it was these legislators who came forward and said, no, what are we waiting for? Just start it right now. Start the vote. Remember, they've already written the bills. I don't mean start recon. They've already started recon. I mean start the vote for recon. And that starts with Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat of New York, when asked whether they should wait around any longer. Democrats, she said, no, why should we wait around? Absolutely not, Gillibrand says, because Democrats may lose our coalition for human infrastructure. I don't think the White House should relegate recovery to the judgment of Mitch McConnell, because Mitch will not function in good faith. And then came Ruben Gallego, Democrat out of Arizona, who said the Republicans are not even players and we should just move on without them, referring to the Democrats. We should just move on. Representative Mark Pocan, a Democrat out of Wisconsin, says, at what point do Republicans seriously come to the table? If Republicans don't come to the table, it doesn't mean Democrats don't serve the meal. That's the four stimulus package. And then Senator Majority Whip Dick Durbin says, Democrats ought to have a timely negotiation with Republicans, but prepare to go to reconciliation. Wow. And finally, Representative Ro Khanna, who never minces words, Democrat out of California. Ro Khanna says, I think Democrats should move forward on our bill. That's about as obvious as you get. Our reconciliation bill, let's get it going. Wow. Incredible, great news. So here you go. A few more days of chatting with the Republicans, but the vote is just looming, just a few days out. And the push for those multiple stimulus checks. But guess what? I got more surprises under four stimulus. Oh, yeah. I got more surprises, more details. And they're coming up in just a minute after this commercial break. And also coming up is fifth stimulus as well. But if you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, a homeowner's assistance, or homeowners' utilities, reach out to the volunteers. They're in the community page. The community page appears in the description to this video. Open the description, find that emoji of a house, and then it sends you to the link to news.lalate.com/community. The volunteers are viewers just like you. They can help you get that rent and utilities and mortgage. If you can't find it, first try to make the effort to find it yourself. But if you can't find it, they'll try to help you. And here's a little bit more about the community page. I'll be back in 60 seconds after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. They're Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Early Mornings LALATE with incredible big news still breaking about your fourth stimulus check 2021 update. Boy, it's still getting exciting. And then the second half of this recording, we're going over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits across the board. What a big morning this is. This is LALATE. I don't want you to miss a single recording across the board. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers in 1 year, YouTube record. Let's head to 1 million. Subscribe. Share these videos on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram. Also like this video and consider becoming a member. Currently live streaming on this channel as well right now is Overnight's Crypto. So after this show is over, jump into that show. Overnight's Crypto now playing. Wow. So let's cut to fifth stimulus. The incredible great news. about fifth stimulus starts with understanding how it pays out. It'll increase your benefits the following way. Let's go over broadly what it is before we do the specifics. First, they'll raise your benefit limits, remove the asset limit, add inflationary benchmark, then remove the income exclusion and remove the marriage penalty. Really great news. All right, let's go over how this works. First, they're going to raise up your benefits. Who's you? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, all your benefits would be raised up a big new number to a big new number. And that would be your new number going forward. Great news. But guess what? Every December, you will be tied to a new benchmark, and that benchmark is inflation. So how does a benchmark work, and what is a benchmark? It means that every year they take your number and they look at this benchmark, now inflation, and they look at what the rate is right before they make the determination. If the rate for inflation in December is 20%, as Jeremy Siegel said over a week ago, then they would raise your benefits up 20% lifetime. They would never step down. That's not how a benchmark works. Never steps down, either stays the same or steps up. So while Siegel's 20% may be a little bit on the high end, then what else is possible? Well, that head of the Federal Reserve out of Georgia just a few days ago said, I think the growth rate will be going from 4 to 10.5%. 10.5% growth is just incredible, people. That could signal that we may be, 7% inflationary rate. But we've had other analysts in the last few days say they think inflation may be somewhere between 4 to 8%, 4 to 7% approximately. So we won't know this till December, but boy, this is getting very exciting, great news. So let's say inflation is 6%. So they would raise up your benefits under fifth stimulus. Then they would apply 6% inflation in December, if that's what it is. Insanely great news, because you would always be you would always be plus 6% benefits for the rest of your existence. If the year after this it goes up 2 more percent, then it would be 6 plus 2% every year going forward. What great news. Then also under SSI and SSDI reform is adding the asset cap and removing it. So what is this at issue? It's dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't keep more than $3,000 in the bank account. Well, that needs to go away because you're about to get some stimulus checks. So the asset cap is going away. Next going away is the income exclusion that says you can't work and stay on benefits, even if you want to work. So you're going to get rid of that. So if you want to make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, you can and still stay on benefits. Finally, we have the incredible details about the marriage penalty. The marriage penalty is going to go away, and thank goodness it does, because people have not gotten married for fear of losing their benefits, or people were married and lost their benefits. That's going to go away. Love is going to win. Love is going to conquer, because you'll be able to get married and not lose benefits when they get rid of the marriage penalty. There you go. That is the exciting details of fifth stimulus. A 2-bill, 2-month, 2-step process that starts in September. You're likely to see the benefits hit your account about October, November. And then the step up, of course, would impact your bank account in January. But what's important to understand is the reason why I have membership is because I can provide you a lot more information, which I may not cover. Even though this recording is jam-packed with information, which I'm far from over still yet, in a 30-minute video, I can't cover everything that else is in the fifth stimulus. That's why we have membership. I send you daily the list of PDFs, the list of descriptions, what's in particular stimulus packages. And fifth stimulus has a lot of money for standard pay, for hazard pay, single individuals, for seniors who are single, medical discounts and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff in the fifth stimulus. I don't have time to go over it in this recording, so check out those items. All right, so with that, let's go back to the incredible great news about fourth stimulus. What's important to understand is that collectively what we have going into these final days of the month of May is the following. The president's going to have those negotiations, while not fruitful, every day with the Republicans up until Memorial Day weekend. That will be the end of it. Then the vote will start. The vote will start on the reconciliation, which actually has the bills reportedly written. So they're going to call the vote and just proceed. It's a 2-step, 2-bill, 2-month process, but that's just the whole process. They already potentially have the bills written they represent, so these have to call the vote. Next, important to understand that these legislators don't like staying in D.C. in July. Their vacation is in July, so they'd rather get out of D.C. in June if they could. And if they did get out of town in June for their own personal, prerogative, it would give you an additional stimulus check. This is incredible, great news. Finally, what is enforced stimulus and what is not enforced stimulus? Okay, that becomes a tough love moment. The rental assistance, homeowners, utilities, homeowners mortgage, and eviction moratorium, all going away. They're not coming back into forced stimulus. So the concept was to provide you money to get caught up on your rental bills so that when they lift the eviction moratorium, you are up to date on your bills. So please go get it. It's first come, first serve. You have to be a purple hawk, and get it before the others pounce, because they will. And then we get to what is not in fourth stimulus. Well, it is really a surprise what else could slide in there or not slide in there. And I initially thought that FPUC was not going to be in forced stimulus, but that letter from those legislators on Friday calling for multiple stimulus checks also talked about something else. And it's also the department that covers it. The House Ways and Means Committee is the one that writes any unemployment stimulus. And so what do those 7 members who are Democrats tell the president? That they're going to work with him to get more federal unemployment assistance in the fourth stimulus. Wow, no one saw this coming. I never saw this coming. Which federal stimulus? We don't really know. It may not be FPUC, because that's not certainly working much anymore, because if you're a Republican state, they're just not offering it. But it may be PEUC, which gives you additional weeks of unemployment benefits, or maybe PUA, which Juan Wyden, of course, has a standalone bill that solves PUA, that's a single individual gig worker, a 1099 type person. So we are far from over in this very fluid situation about unemployment stimulus. Let's now turn back to that fourth stimulus check and understand why the fourth stimulus check is consistent with how people view the economy right now. The way we are going into Monday is that many people think that this economy is not stabilized. The housing starts continue to struggle. The commodities markets are still too high. Lumber and copper. You can't build a house because the lumber is so expensive. And so that's crippling new home sales. Then we have long-term unemployment claims. People who are on long-term unemployment, the number continues to grow. The number of new jobless claims continues to drop. But we have a lot of instability in this economy. And with all that instability comes the question of why stimulus checks. The great news is that legislators, both Democrats and House, understand that stimulus checks is the instrument to get you caught up on your past bills. We now have both Democrats and Republicans saying, stimulus checks is what gets people caught up on their bills. We don't want to do any type of unemployment stimulus where we're impacting their unemployment, or rental stimulus where we're interacting and impacting their landlord-tenant relationship. But stimulus checks is a solution. Why? Because millions of Americans are getting back to work, for example, husband and wife, and they're still behind on their bills. There were too many bills that were created by the pandemic. They're still not caught up on their bills. And that's why the Senate approach makes the most sense. The biggest cash infusion, the fastest cash infusion, which is what you need to get caught up on those bills. If the Senate proposal worked and went through exactly at the high end, then a lot of people would get caught up on their bills, and economy would grow. Economy would grow. For the extent that any part of this economy is struggling or unstable is because people are not caught up on their bills and they're wondering when they could. And with that, what you anticipate this week? Well, more corporate earnings are coming in this week, but the big news is probably these final days before Memorial Day weekend. That is when the reconciliation process starts for purposes of voting, not for purposes of starting the recon. Finally, it's important to become a member. And let me tell you why. Because there's 3 stimulus packages we're talking about at the same time. The 3rd stimulus package, the 4th stimulus package, and the 5th stimulus package. It's a lot to even follow unless you don't have a printout of the individual items across the board. Every day, there's at least one viewer. Sometimes it's not really a viewer. It's, something else that jumps in the comments says, the only check you're getting in July is for the children. Yeah, the only check you're getting in July for the 3rd stimulus package is for the children. And I got it. It's confusing. 3rd stimulus is still paying out items, and 3rd stimulus is sending out checks in July. But that's not what we're talking about in this recording. We're talking about 4th stimulus. And imagine, it is far from disbelief that 4th stimulus may start paying out things while we're talking about 5th stimulus. That's how these stimulus packages overlap. There's a lot of items in the 3rd stimulus that are still landing or available for you to get. I can't cover them all in one recording. And there's certainly a lot of items under 5th stimulus that you need to be informed about because they're in there from the president. and they almost require a whole video unto themselves, like the hazard pay for individuals. You can only cover so much. But if you're able to figure out, if you're able to follow with me what's in third stimulus, what's in fourth, and what's in fifth, you'll probably be better to understand the whole situation. As we go into the new morning, multiple stimulus checks heating up with not only a call for a vote, but call for a vote sooner. Could that vote sooner happen? If it does, it would give you additional stimulus check. In the second half of this recording, we went over the big money available for you for rent, the big money available for you as SSI and SSDI veterans benefits lift up. And in the middle of the recording, we went over the big money available for you to get right now. So do it. Meantime, subscribe. I want you part of this channel, the fastest growing on this channel. Now, right after the show, stay here. This video will potentially send you automatically to the live stream now playing, the 12-hour show, LALATE Overnight Crypto. It's a great show with a lot of fun. A lot of people jump in the live chat, help one another. It's just a fun place. Also, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, stay beautiful, stay informed, stay motivated, and stay on point, because we're going to get through this together. And I will see you next at 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time with Mornings LA.